the Benidorm Enthusiast here, and today we are at the extremely popular Levante Pueblo market. I'm going to be telling you about the future of this market, or the non-existent future of this market, if the plans for the redevelopment of this area go ahead. I'll get into that shortly, but first let's have a little look around the market for those of you who've never been, and those of you who would like a little reminder as to what it's like. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you like our content. Click the subscribe button so that you're following us. It's completely free, and also click that bell so you get a notification whenever we release a new video. So the Levante Pueblo market isn't the only market in Benidorm, but it is the one that's most popular with British and Irish tourists. Probably because it's located very close to the main Brit tourism area, the New Town, on the Levante side of Benidorm. It's next to the Server Group Pueblo Hotel and the Helios Hotel, and it's held on Wednesdays and Sundays starting around 8 AM through till about 2 PM. What can you buy at this market? Well, all sorts really. Clothes, bags, shoes, belts, not to mention those all-important pants and socks. But it's not just tourists that use this market for souvenirs and gifts. A lot of locals use it too. There are some great food stalls, fresh fruit and veg. That's the main reason you'll find me at this market. You can also get dried fruits and nuts, olives, cheeses and produce like that at a much better price than most supermarkets. Other popular items are the genuine imitations of branded goods. Designer bags and sportswear with recognisable logos are all over this market. Of course, the prices of such items should send you a warning sign that they may not be the real deal, even though there are some very good copies, I have to say. Every now and again you'll read in the news that these stalls have been raided and goods confiscated. The most recent was just a couple of weeks ago. The National Police seized over 1,700 counterfeit items and arrested 8 people involved with their distribution. There were 10 stalls involved in this particular raid, and the 8 people arrested were of Senegalese, Moroccan and Spanish nationality. A similar raid happened about the same time last year too. Again, it was the National Police who inspected 6 stalls that time and seized 2,400 counterfeit items. As you can see, it doesn't take long for the gaps to be filled up again. Watches, trainers, purses are all on show here. The vendors are not shy about it in the slightest, rather the opposite in fact. They're quite blasé about the goods that they have to sell. The risk of a raid and having goods confiscated doesn't seem to worry them in the slightest. You've also got some cafes and food stalls here in the market where you can grab a bite whilst you're doing your shopping. A breakfast bite with a coffee, or a lunchtime snack whilst you rest your feet. I often make a beeline for the churros in this market. They are just delicious. There's so much going on in here. You can see why this market is so popular amongst both tourists and locals alike. But it may not be here forever. In fact, it may well be on its way out. Let's go out the back of the market whilst I tell you a bit more about the future plans they have for this area, which sadly don't include this market. So from back here you get a much better view of the area that the market takes up. It is a big market, there's around 300 stalls, but it's actually just a small section of a huge area which is supposed to be getting redeveloped soon. The plan for this area is called the Levante Ensanche Plan, and it involves redeveloping a massive 575,000 square metres. Now it's worth noting here that this plan has been in the pipeline for years and years. Couldn't tell you an exact date, but I'm sure I recall hearing about plans to make something out of this area when I first moved here 20 odd years ago. But over the last year or so, it does seem that the plan is moving closer to becoming a reality. The investment for this area is expected to be around 570 million euros. Mega money. The emphasis is on creating a green space with the large central park acting as a green lung for Benidorm. There will be some hotels and residential blocks as well as public buildings for recreational and educational use and some car parking facilities. But in the final plans submitted, which have since been approved, there was no place for the Levante market. I think the market's going to be really missed, don't you? While the idea of having a big park in this area does really excite me, I think green space is something Benidorm does lack, but I also think that getting rid of this market will be a big loss to this area. I don't know, maybe they'll find somewhere else it can be held. This year we've seen a couple of plots that were previously wasteland get converted into public car parks. If the redeveloped area has car parks, perhaps these spaces could be used to host the market in the future. Or maybe they'll be trying to promote the Old Town market more and send people down that way. It is a good market, but it's only held on Wednesdays, and in its current location, it's not the easiest market to get to, especially if you're a tourist. This market is so handy for people in this area. Not to mention the extra trade it brings cafes, bars and restaurants around here. I'm sure the business owners around here will miss it greatly too, if indeed it does disappear in the future. It's also worth noting that this plan could still be years off from actually happening. Whilst most of the theoretical hurdles have been overcome, getting approval from the relevant parties and getting paper processed, there are still some pretty big physical issues that may well put the project on hold. There are still people living in buildings on this area, abandoned buildings, and they may not be living in them legally, but the fact remains they are still there. They can't just bulldoze down a house which has a family living in it. So while I did read that they hope to begin some construction on this area in 2024, in reality they could face difficulties in doing so. Also, if they do start the work redeveloping this area, they probably won't start with the market square. Let's hope they leave that to last if it does happen, so people can still enjoy the market for a good few years to come. In conclusion, if you are heading out to Benidorm in the near future and you love this market, I wouldn't worry too much just yet. But do bear it in mind that this much loved market may not be around forever. Thanks for watching, guys. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let us know your thoughts in the comments section. We're always interested to read your point of view. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the beer mug in the corner, and also check us out on Facebook, Instagram, X and TikTok at the Benidorm Enthusiast. Stay positive and stay safe.